The health benefits of Pilates. Welcome to Reinvent Yourself, Healthy and Happy. I'm Tanya Phillips, your educator and coach. Before we explore the health benefits, let's take a little look back at history. It's actually quite interesting. Pilates was developed during World War I, and it was meant to strengthen the mind and the body. It was developed by a German named Joseph Pilates, who was being held in an internment camp where he spent 4 years. Who better to develop this strength and exercise program than a person whose father was a gymnast and whose mother was a naturopath? Joseph spent the next 4 years during this internment perfecting his exercise and helping his fellow internees strengthen their mind and their body while they were being held captive. Joseph Pilates spent years creating various tools and apparatuses that are still in use today, like the reformer seen in the picture. But he also wanted anyone to be able to participate. So he had another version that required no equipment and you just used a mat. This variation of the exercise is still in use today. At the time that Joseph was creating what is now called Pilates, it was strongly believed that exercise could cure illness and strengthen the mind. And that's a belief I strongly still abide by. Just look at the picture of him in his 80s. He looks amazing. He looks fit. He looks healthy. Okay, so back to modern times. Pilates is now practiced by over 12 million people worldwide. It's very popular in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and even South Korea. Pilates is still considered a mind-body exercise, and it focuses on core stability, strength, and flexibility. It requires you to pay attention to muscle control, posture, and breathing. So back to the health benefits. Pilates helps to increase muscle strength. It builds your core strength, which is extremely important. It increases flexibility. It eases back pain, which is great for somebody like me who has a lot of back issues. It stabilizes the spine and improves posture. It's great for stress management, and it's perfect for someone who is trying to rehabilitate an injury. So after learning all about the benefits of Pilates, I decided to go check out the local Club Pilates in West Little Rock. It was amazing. The people were so kind. I had a boot on my ankle because I was in one for a whole year. So I was really apprehensive, didn't think that I would be able to work out. But amazingly, they were able to modify everything for me. It was awesome. They even recorded a little tour and demo for us. Check it out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Pierce, and I am one of the managers here at Club Pilates in Little Rock. With me today, we've got our lead instructor, Hani.
Hello. All right, so we want to actually show you the studio. So come on in, we're going to show you what it looks like in our main studio. So we do have 12 reformers here, and with the reformers we have stations where we actually have the springboard set up. We also have some other equipment here that we use in our classes. And we would love to demonstrate and have Pierce get on one of these reformers and show you what we do and show some exercises, what we do in some of our classes. So come on, get you on, Pierce. And so what I'm gonna have Pierce demonstrate is footwork, and we do this in most of our classes at the beginning of the class. And this is just a good way, we call it like our warm-up. It's a really good way to warm up the body, get the core start to, to really start to engage, and of course get some good movement into the lower part of the body. So I'm gonna have you start with your heels on the foot bar. And when Pierce starts to push out, he's actually gonna push the carriage out, so it's on wheels. And then he's using spring resistance here. So all of our reformers are set up with spring resistance. So he's actually getting work from the springs on the way out and the way back in. And this is so great for people to find body awareness. We move in a very mindful way. We have that mind-body connection, connecting to our breath, like he can inhale out and then exhale back in. We're looking for alignment in his body. We all have a dominant side, so we tend to maybe, even if we stand, we tend to stand on one leg. So I'm just looking for Pierce to actively use both of his legs and have that alignment in both of his heels. He's also getting a really nice flexion for his ankles, which is great when he goes for a walk, when he's standing at home, when he's doing other activities. All of that comes into place. How's it feel?
It feels great.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to work out lying down? So it's wonderful for the spine. We're creating really good posture for him right now too. So it's like
So I have an ankle injury.
yeah.
Is Pilates something that you would be able to do if you are recovering from some type of injury?
Yes, Pilates is so great for rehabbing any type of injury. So we can always make modifications for anyone with injuries. That's a great thing with the reformer. We can actually switch out springs, we can modify foot bar, we can switch some different things on it. And we can also do some different placements of equipment to make it more comfortable for people if they do have any injuries. So yeah, so it's cool. It's for everybody, and it's so great for strength training. It's wonderful for stability. He's having to stabilize his spine right now. He's also, of course, he's toning his leg muscles. He's getting that mobility in his joints without any type of impact. So it's very low impact. It's just friendly for all ages and all bodies. And he's getting some flexibility here. His ankles are really getting some good flexibility when he's coming back down. So now we have feet and straps. So this is wonderful for building the leg strength and also hip mobility. Lots of core strength. He's still working against the resistance. Wonderful for that ankle flexibility or articulation in the feet. And I'm just looking for his body to be very level, so actively working both legs. Do some hip circles for hip mobility. So it's a great way to work and tone all of the leg muscles.
So when I came last time, I did this and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I've never done it before. And the next day, I felt every one of those muscles in my legs.
It's very effective.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like it might be too much difficulty with what he's doing, but it's working a lot of the smaller muscles.
Yes.
And that's
That I had never used.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the key.
Yes.
That's the key. I think all too often we're trained to exercise the global muscles, and while this certainly does that, it also is hitting muscle stabilizers and some of these little muscles, like Connie mentioned, that we don't work out. So, but it's the muscles that we need to move.
Yeah, to have that balanced inner muscle tone. Right, so now Pierce is doing some upper body. So he's using the straps to do what we call serve a tray. So it's building strength in all of the shoulder muscles, chest muscles. He's also having to keep that posture, so he's using his core. Mind-body connection with that breathing, exhaling when he has a little bit more resistance, and then inhaling, coming back for that nice work in his back shoulders. So he's got that stretching and strengthening going on for that mobility. We're gonna use the Pilates ball. It's our sponge ball. It's great. It's used often to engage the inner thighs, which helps strengthen the lower abdominal muscles. So I'm gonna have him use it just to stabilize, to keep that nice tall posture in his body. And let's go ahead and take a hold of those handsprings and do what we call chest expansion. So we're gonna exhale, press the palms back, and then inhale, bring the palms forward. So he has that great, strong, tall posture. And now he's strengthening with resistance from the springs in front of him on the springboard. And we can do some fun stuff here for balance. You can lift your heels when you press your palms back. Ooh, good crack.
Yep.
He's realigning his toes. So we're getting a lot of good back shoulder work, back tricep. So Pierce is doing what we call draw a sword. So this is just a nice little cross diagonal motion for the body. Little rotation. So we're strengthening some of his side obliques and his shoulders again. And just demonstrating that ability to keep that wrist pretty straight or in neutral position. That great tall posture, using his legs to stabilize. And of course he's on this moving reformer. So he's working with the spring again. We have Pierce on the actually standing on the reformer. This is something that we would do in our level 2 classes. So after some progression and feeling comfortable with working with the equipment and getting him to find good stability here, he's able to press the carriage out standing on it. So this is a more challenging exercise.
Oh, I know I would feel that in my legs next day.
You can get a little flowy with the arms too. You can always do a little bit. And sometimes we'll have hand weights or bands, so we'll challenge the upper body as we stabilize the lower half. So here's another challenging exercise that we have Pearson, who's doing the plank position on the foot bar with one spring on. He can also bend his knees and pull the carriage back in and then press out with that exhale, strengthening the back of his legs and really using his core muscles and his upper body for this. You shaking?
Oh,
Feeling
yeah.
that?
That's awesome that there's different progressions for different people at different ability levels. That's wonderful. There's even a private studio for those who may want some one-on-one coaching.
Welcome to our private studio room. So here in this studio we have what we call the Cadillac, and the Cadillac is really great for anyone who has any injuries. So if they want to do some private sessions, we can really tailor that actual session for whatever they need. If it's, rehabbing like a knee or shoulder or back or something like that. And we can set the Cadillac up specifically for that person, for their height or their fitness level, or of course making it really work with that injury. And then underneath this we actually do have a reformer, so very similar to what we have out in our studio. So we can do of course reformer work in our private studio too. We have many different tools in here. We have a spine corrector, which is really great to use for anyone who has had any disc issues, so herniated discs,
Bulging discs.
Yes, bulging discs.
She's looking at me funny because that's what I have.
Yeah, and I have a spinal fusion, so I totally understand. So great use of tools. We also have what we call the ladder barrel, and this thing is fabulous too for doing standing work. We can do some extension, flexion, side flexion. So it's very helpful for anyone to do standing core. So it's very supportive.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Before I left, I asked Hani her favorite success story. I love it.
Currently, I work with a client who's 81 years old, and her main goal coming to Pilates with working in here for private sessions was to create better posture. So she has had a round spine and had a walker, and now we are 8 sessions in and she's already standing taller. She's finding that her chin is more parallel to the floor from the work that we've been doing with the Cadillac and also for the reformer. So she's finding her core stronger. She's just doing like daily things better. She doesn't get as exhausted as fast, so she'll come home even after her sessions and she's like, I have energy. I go do laundry, I clean my house, and it's once a week, and she is already finding so many
81.
benefits.
That's
81.
awesome. I just want to say a special thank you to Pierce and Hani and Mary Beth for making all of this possible. I really appreciate you guys. Go check out a Club Pilates near you. When you go, the first visit is free. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like and subscribe so you can see some more videos to help you improve your health and happiness.